You wanted to hits, well we got them. From California to Japan, the people have spoken. The best of the best, from hip-hop, rock, pop, and every genre in between. And we're here to play them, so get your dance shoes ready and listen to the sounds of worldwide music right here, right now, on the Stream Current Show.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the Stream Current Show, and I am your host, Wild Oscah. That's with an H. In case you don't know, this is going to be our fourth episode of the podcast. And if you haven't tuned in before, what this is like a radio-style format where we feature songs from artists and musicians from across the globe. From everywhere from California to Japan, Singapore, England, you name it, we got it. Here we are. We're having fun. It's a little bit chilly. I'm recording in my basement, and I got a hoodie on. So, anyways, trying to stay warm. It has been hot, or at least dry lately. We'll get into that a little bit later. And we got a good show here today. We got a couple artists that have already been featured on the show, but they reached out to me, and I reached out to them, and we were like, hey, we got some new releases, we got some songs, you mind playing them? I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, motherfucking what? Yeah. Yeah, no, didn't quite say it like that. But we're always happy to reintroduce artists here on the show. So if you are listening and you are an artist who've already been featured on the show, reach out to me and I can get you back on the podcast. And if you haven't been on the podcast and you're a musician or a band or a producer or a record label and you got some music you want to hit the ears of a new audience, hit us up. Go to streamcurrents.com/contact. Contact us there. Let us know the dealio, and we can get the music heard here on the podcast. The only requirement really that we have for getting on the podcast is the music has to be available for streaming on Spotify, and we prefer it to be on YouTube too, so that way, and have content, YouTube content ID enabled, so that way you get paid every time somebody listens to the podcast. But it needs to be on Spotify, just as make sure that things are legit, right? People aren't just ripping off people's music, and so we gotta make sure we lay down those lines, at least for, Spotify. It's not hard to get on Spotify. If you're unsure on how to get on Spotify, go to YouTube, type in, how do I get on Spotify? Quick video. There's lots of distributors. There's DistroKid for $22 a month. You can get on Spotify and all kinds of major streaming, not $22 a month, $22 a year. You can get on Spotify. TuneCore offers a free service. RootNote offers a free service. Check them out. If you're just looking to get one song on, it's really not that hard to get your music played on Spotify. If you're looking to be a little bit more advanced than that, there's some premium plans with DistroKid. One is $39.99, and there's another one for a label, which I think is $79.99 or something like that, which gives you a lot more features, better customer support, and other things like that. So if you are a musician or a band, you want to get heard here on the Stream Current Show, hit us up, streamcurrents.com/contact, or hit us up on our various social medias. Go to Facebook, check us out, Stream Currents. It's at Stream Currents for all our social medias, it's the same thing. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, give us a follow, give us a like, send us a message, whatever, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. I do work. This is not my only job, so I work full time. So if I don't get back to you right away, be sure that I'll be checking my messages as soon as I get home, and I'll try and get right back to you. Anyways, so yeah, this is a radio-style podcast where we kind of shoot the shit a little bit, talk about some things. We'll put on some music. We'll tell you guys a little bit about the artists and where to find them on social media. And yeah, and then we'll jump into another track. And then we got an outro playlist at the end of the show of people who've already been featured on the show. So past songs from previous episodes, and that'll kind of end the show off. And if you looking to find these artists on Spotify, and say if you can't find them just by researching the names that I give you today, go to our playlist on Spotify, which we also have on our website under streamcurrents.com/podcast. There's a link for the playlist, and it's called The Stream Currents Show. And it's a playlist of every single artist that's been, or band, musician, that has been on the show. And you can check them all out there. And that'll be an easy way for you to find them. Plus, I know we stick to the Spotify on here, but a lot of these artists also have their music on other major streaming platforms. So Amazon, Deezer, Tidal, Apple Music, YouTube, yeah, check them out. They're pretty much everywhere. And I know everybody likes to use a different streaming service. So make sure you don't miss them. If you like what you hear today, check their social medias out. And hey, you might see something you like. So yeah, that is that. Today, before we jump into any music, we're going to talk about wildfires. It has been absolutely insane in Canada. Now, I know people on the west coast of America, they're in California, they're used to wildfires. They pretty much get them every single year. And not that they're used to them, but you know, they're more frequent there, so they've become accustomed to dealing with them. However, in Canada, we do get wildfires. I mean, there's always going to be a fire. Just because of lightning, dry conditions, hurricanes blow down trees, and that sparks kindling. But we had a really serious wildfire happen here in Halifax. Just 1 second, I got a cough. Oh, man. I'm going to lay off the sugar. The sugar all gunks up in your throat. Sorry, I know that's a little bit disgusting. It's true, though. Fucking sugar, man. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. That's another thing. I get off topic really easily. I don't know if I have ADHD. I'm not diagnosed. I don't plan on being diagnosed. But I get off topic really easily. Every single episode, we're like, oh, okay, the last episode was a little long, so we're going to try and shorten it up this time. And literally, every time I do an episode of the podcast, it ends up like 5 minutes longer than the last one. So we're on the 4th episode, which is actually hoping it's going to be less. But the 3rd episode was actually 10 minutes longer than the debut episode. And that's 1 hour. And, you know, 1 hour, nobody's got time nowadays to do fuck all, let alone listen to an hour-long podcast. We appreciate it if you do, because we got lots of great things in store. But 1 hour is a lot of time to ask somebody to continuously listen to a podcast. So we are going to try and shorten down today. So yeah, I was talking about Halifax. We had a fire spark in Tantallon, which is a part of Halifax on the outskirts, and wildfire, and it just spread rapidly. It started destroying homes. There's over 200 homes that were destroyed or damaged. Evacuations, there was over 18,000 people that were evacuated, and then it started moving close to the city, and then started getting little wildfires like in Hammond's Plains and oh man, Bedford. And you guys probably never been to this city, but we don't have like a big city. Like it's a pretty small city in comparison to places like New York and Toronto and different places like that. But it's still nonetheless a city, but we're surrounded by woods. So it becomes a little bit concerning. I actually, when I first found out about the wildfire, I was coming home from work. I work over at the Halifax waterfront. I work in the hospitality industry. I work at a beer garden, believe it or not. But I was coming over from Halifax back to Dartmouth, I was taking a ferry, and I just noticed this huge plume of smoke just covering the sky, and the sun was like beet red. It looked like somebody had a laser pointer in the sky. So I was like, man, what's going on? So usually when I'm unsure of like what's going on, I usually check Twitter, because that's a good source of information where to find out, current events and anything that may be happening. So I looked up Halifax, and boom, right away, there was fire going on. I was like, oh man, this is not good, right? So, and then I got over to Dartmouth, and I got back home and couldn't really sense much, but I was keeping on top of the news, and everybody was going on about it. And then the next day I wake up and I have to go to work, and it's an outdoor restaurant, and you could smell the smoke in the air, and I was maybe 20-30 kilometers away from the fire. So it grew in size, and luckily nobody got injured as far as humans go, or not injured, but nobody died. There were no fatalities, which was good to hear. Unfortunately, a lot of people had issues with trying to transfer their pets and get their pets, and there's lost animals, and also the animals that live in the woods, obviously. But there was some horse stables, and people couldn't take their horses. There was some kind of thing that the RCMP wasn't letting people travel with horses. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But people had to let their horses go, like let them run free. So here was all these wild horses just ending up everywhere. Luckily, they managed to track them down. They got them all back home safe after the evacuation order was lifted. But like, people were seeing wild horses on the side of the road in places you normally don't see horses, right? Like I said, we're like a capital city for the Maritimes, for Nova Scotia. Oh yeah, that's right. If you don't know, we are podcasting from Halifax, Nova Scotia, on the east coast of Canada. So yeah, Nova Scotia, capital city is Halifax. Pretty big, but like I said, we're surrounded by woods. It's not uncommon for people to have horses just outside the city. We even have a horse stable right in the center of the city. I forget the name of it, but it's right next to Citadel Hill. And yeah, so we have lots of horses, and luckily those horses are now safe. So kudos to everybody who managed to make that happen. Give a shout out to all the firefighters, first responders who responded to the fires and were able to evacuate people, including the RCMP, and get people out safely before they were hurt or injured by the wildfires that happened here. Now, just when you think that this is a one-off event for us, then you got fires bursting out in Alberta, which they've had a serious fire in the past. They had one in Fort Mac, and pretty much everything freaking burned down. And I remember seeing the videos back in the day. It was crazy watching people trying to travel outside of that shit. Well, just a heads up, guys. I got a dog who needs to use the washroom a lot, so you might hear her bark. And there's a cat that's being really needy right now. She wants to go outside. I can't let her outside because I'm not out there, and I'm inside doing the podcast. But she tends to growl and make noises. Her name's Sophie. She's a good cat, but she can be a bit of a nuisance when I'm trying to do stuff. But if you hear a cat meow, there's not really much I can do about that. We'll just get back to what we were talking about. So the wildfires, a bunch going on in Alberta, and then there's like shit ton of wildfire crap happening in Quebec. I haven't even had time to research most of it because I've been kind of busy with work and business stuff with the record label and whatnot. But massive plumes of smoke, and it's all being drifted down to New York City. I seen a video yesterday. New York City was you couldn't like see like 30 feet away from you. It was just like, it looked like a really smog city in like China or something. Like the air quality was completely messed up. And yeah, so it's definitely, that's the thing, like something can happen 1,000 miles away but still affect you somehow. A lot of people are jumping the gun to say that this is climate change, which, very well could be. But it could be a lot of determined factors. It could be that there's more humans, more activity in the woods, people not being safe with fire procedures, like not putting out fires or having fires in wooded areas and whatnot. I'm sure climate does play a role. I mean, if you have a dry season, you're not getting enough rain. Obviously, it's gonna bound to be more dry and more easier to start a fire. Now, there are some folks, and I don't want to razz them too much, but they are developing conspiracy theories now that the New World Order is starting these fires in order to fuel their climate agenda so they can put us all into lockdowns. Now, I'm not saying that's not possible. Anything is possible, and I really don't trust any humans at the top of the chain because God knows what their agendas really are. But for all intent purposes, I'm really not going to jump on the bandwagon with that conspiracy. I'll just assume that it's dry woods and people are fucking idiots flicking their cigarette butts and having bonfires and brush fires when they shouldn't be, and leave it at that. But there is that notion that maybe these fires are being started by the global agenda, and maybe they are. I can't say they aren't. I don't really know. But I think it's so odd how every time something happens, no matter what it is, there's always going to be a subgroup of people that say, conspiracy! But unfortunately, there are some conspiracies that come true. So just when you think that, hey, these people are nuts, well, maybe they're not so nutty. But I don't think I'm going to be following that crowd. So I just stay out of any conversations that get too political about wildfires or any natural disaster for that reason. I think the main thing to focus on when natural disasters happen is recovery efforts and making sure people and their livestock and their animals and the forests themselves are safe and can return back to normal conditions. And I think that's what we should be focusing on instead of pointing fingers. Oh, it was Prince. He came back from the dead and he lit a tree on fire. Like it could happen, but it's not likely. Anyways, so yeah, we're podcasting from Halifax, Nova Scotia, east coast of Canada, home of Sidney Crosby, donairs and lobsters, and we mention that basically every podcast because we're famous for donairs here. If you haven't had a donair, come to Halifax. You get a proper donair, not in the friggin' feta cheese added bullcrap. A donair, all a donair is the meat, the sauce, onion, tomato, and a pita bread. That's it. And it's got to be cooked. It's got to be nice, thick, sliced chunks. It gets fried. And that's how it's supposed to be done. So you want a donair, come to the East Coast of Canada. Check out King of Donair. Besides them, I'll give another shout out to another place that makes awesome donairs, Tellini's Pizza in Porters Lake. There's also Tellini's Pizza in Chesapeake. Check them out. They have awesome donairs. And lobster, Atlantic Canadian lobster. And we've lost the lobster. I haven't eaten a lobster in like 8 years. The price of them is just unreal. And we're the home of Sidney Crosby. He is from the HRM, the Halifax Regional Municipality, and I know there's some Sidney Crosby haters out there, but he is one of the greatest hockey players of all time. So it's pretty cool to have him represent us on the world stage, coming from this province, Nova Scotia. So we are podcasting from Nova Scotia. You may be anywhere in the world listening right now. If you are, comment in the comments below. Tell us hey, I'm from Saskatchewan, or I'm from Florida, or Mexico, or wherever. Let us know where you're hearing this from. It'd be really interesting to find out exactly where people are hearing this podcast. Helps us with our analytics and, better gear the show for what we should be talking about. Because maybe wildfires aren't your thing. Maybe tsunamis are, or something else, right? Maybe we can switch it up a bit and talk about different topics. And speaking on that note, if you do have a topic that you would like us to talk about on the show, and for any reason, we don't know what your reason may be, but if you have a reason, hit us up on the Facebook page, Stream Currents. It's Stream Currents Productions, but the username is Stream Currents, and say hey, or send us a message. Say, I would really love to hear you guys talk about this. Or you guys. There's only one guy here. It's me, Wild Oscah, with an H. And we could definitely make that happen. We'll talk about it. I mean, why not, right? I have a hard time figuring out topics to talk about because, everything's so goddamn political these days. It seems like if you mention one wrong thing, then all of a sudden you're being canceled because you said the wrong phrase or the wrong wording of something. You got to be really careful with what you say these days. Free speech is walking a fine fucking line. Treading on thin ice, that's for sure. So, we'll get into the music now. Like I said, we got a few artists here who, these next two artists have already been featured on the last episode of the podcast. So if you haven't heard any other episodes of podcasts, backtrack, rewind, go listen to that shit, right? Great music. And just because these artists have one song featured on the show doesn't mean they only have one song. They're bound to have like tons of music on Spotify or whatever major streaming platform you listen to, and check them out. First, we're going to be playing Shar, and that's with an S-H-A-R, Shar. I knew what Shar was with a C-H. So we got Shar from Ontario, Canada. Singer, songwriter, and composer. She has roots in Jamaican culture, and Shar's sound is a blend of reggae, rock, blues, dance, and pop. She's got a new release that she submitted to us here on the podcast, and it was just released May 29th, so just a week ago. But when she had contacted me, it was actually like a day or so after the release, so I'm kind of slow getting to these podcasts. Which I do want to mention that we do these podcasts roughly every 2 weeks, depends on my work schedule. In the future, I would like to have a set date so people can really tune in, but for right now, work's really fucking busy, and I gotta guesstimate kind of when I'm going to be doing a podcast. But we like to do them roughly every 2 weeks. This will be exactly 2 weeks to the day when we did the last podcast, so stay tuned. We're here. Every couple weeks we'll bang out some tunes, show you guys what's good, Anyways, back to Shar. So Shar is from Ontario, Canada, singer, songwriter, composer, has roots in Jamaican culture. Shar's sound is a blend of reggae, rock, blues, dance, and pop. She has a new release, May 29th. Shar featuring DSB, who is from South Africa, and I think she said this is her first collaboration. And DSB is a rapper, vocalist, producer, and the song is called Don't Matter. And it's about, I'll read it here, I guess. I got a little cheat sheet. We all have had or have people in our lives that always find fault with us. Don't Matter is the ultimate dance anthem with a positive message reminding us to stay true to ourselves. Sounds pretty good to me. Now, I haven't heard this song yet. This will be the first time me listening to this, so we'll check it out. We'll get a fresh take on it. We'll come back. We'll talk about it. And, yeah, that's how we'll be doing it. So, with no further ado, here is Shar featuring DSB with Don't Matter.
You're listening to the Street Current Show.
just want to use you. They want to tell you what to do. They say they know what's best for you, but you know they're lying to you. They don't even know you. Just keep being you, 'cause no matter what you do, they'll always find fault with you. So just keep being you. It don't matter.
Yeah, normal day and I'm feeling so fresh. Coming straight out of work, straight pain, no stress. See my heart through my vest, so you know what I'm packing. Clear vision, perseverance, no slacking. When I dip out, I'm straight back in. I made my way through mishaps and pain and kin. Still my soul and vision's the same damn thing. Yeah, and I won't stop until I'm reigning king. Come to save me. Young, motivated, high, who can blame me? They always see the other guys trying to change me.
Just keep being you, 'cause no matter what you do, they'll always find fault with you. So just keep being you. It don't matter. Just keep being you, 'cause no matter what you do, they'll always find fault with you. So just keep being you. It don't matter. Just keep being you, 'cause no matter what you do, they'll always find fault with you. So just keep being you. It don't matter.
What's up, everyone? We're back. That was Shar featuring DSB with Don't Matter. And pretty sick beat, I gotta say that. I found myself trying to flow to it. Pretty smooth flow by DSB and really interesting original sound from Shar. If you want to find Shar on social media, check out her Facebook page. It's Shar60. That's the username. It comes up as Singer Shar. And DSB is on Facebook too. He's got a page. It's called DSB Productions. Check them out. Give them a like. Give them a follow if you like what you hear. And yeah, so that's Shar featuring DSB. Don't matter. I want to apologize for the last segment. Right now, the studio that I'm recording in is kind of being lived in by people, and there's not much I can do about that. It is what it is. But there's a refrigerator here that's about 40 years old, and every now and then it comes on and it makes a bloody sound, and I'm not sure if you guys heard the feedback or not. It's off now, thank goodness. But it makes a loud sound. I mean, that's good because it's running, but it's old as fuck, and yeah, there's not much I can do about it. I tried to put the noise gate on, but the problem is you put too much noise gate on the audio track, and then the audio track starts being choppy. So I do apologize, guys. This is not a fancy setup that I have right now. It will be in the future. The further we get down the road, the more money we make. Believe me, the first thing I'm doing is investing in a studio. But for now, it is what it is. But I do want to apologize in case you guys are like, man, what the fuck is that noise? Right? It's a refrigerator. It's not a helicopter. It's not a lawnmower. It's a refrigerator. And thank goodness we're podcasting today, because yesterday everybody was mowing their lawn, including me. But it would have been a bad day to try a podcast with everybody mowing their lawns. My lawnmower is all messed up right now. It's been doing pretty good. I bought it secondhand for $50. This is its 6th year. But it's got a leaky hose. It likes to leak gas, which is not good for anything. And I'm stressed that I'm going to have to buy a new one. Not that I can't afford it. It's just I just don't want to. I like this lawnmower. It's a 6.5 horsepower. Motherfucker runs sweet. Runs pretty good. Gets lots of grass cut, lots of weeds mowed down. So yeah, that was Shar featuring DSB. I forgot to mention, I got a song that's going to be featured here on the podcast a little bit later, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. For right now, we're going to jump into the next track. Let me check out my little cheat sheet here. I kind of know some of this stuff off the top of my head, but I tried doing that on the first episode, and I became a blank, and I was searching on my phone for people's song names and all kinds of crap, and I was just making a lot of blunders. So I like to write things down just so that I have them on hand to be able to tell you guys. The next song we're going to play is by an artist who's a rapper, a hip-hop artist, producer. Hold on a second. I got a cat that's trying to come up here. Come on now. Get down. You don't want to be up here. Oh, they're all coming now. So they hear me talking. They think it's like story time or something. They all want to be here. Hey, get down. Go on. All right, enough of these cats. I need a bouncer in this room. Keep you guys from coming out. Coming in, I mean. All right, so next we have an artist. Like I said, producer, artist, rapper, blogger as well. He really loves classic horror movies, has a eerie interest in them, I guess you may say. He likes to blog about it. His name is Spendoe, and he's from Santa Cruz, California. He has 3 full albums and a ton of singles, and is featured on the podcast before. He was on the last podcast episode with California G-ish. California G-ish. I don't know if you guys remember that song, but a sweet song. I love that song. Stuck in my head for days. We got him back on this episode with a new song called Changing Lanes, produced by DJ Ultimatum. And there's an 8 in that word, so it's Ultim 8, like the number 8. Oh, there's my phone. Don't know what that's doing. And a.k.a. Liam Judah. So it's DJ Ultimatum, a.k.a. Liam Judah, who's produced by. Pretty cool. So yeah, we have Spendoe. Spendoe's from Santa Cruz, California, has a family history with football players and whatnot, and was going to really get into sports, but then decided music was his passion, so he took that route. He's got a whole bio history of how he came into music. He started at a very young age, got involved with some older guys from the streets, and they really showed him the ropes. And he's got a ton of great music. Check him out on Spotify, all the major streaming platforms, but he's definitely on Spotify, so check him out on there. So he also was featured on a song with Juvenile and C-Dub and some other artists, but Juvenile's an interesting one because I have listened to Juvenile in my life, back that ass up, right? So really interesting. He's got a lot of great music. Really, he's got that California West Coast sound. I think that people are familiar with when they hear certain artists like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Tupac. So he's definitely got the West Coast sound going on. With no further ado, though, we have Spendoe with his song Changing Lanes. And we'll be right back.
Here on the Street Curtain Show, we play the best hits worldwide.
Time goes by, life so fast.
got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. It's just the life we live up in this California sun. Cats know me in the game, I never run. Always been the one to stick my chest out when times got hard. Them fake friends, they bailed out. Me, myself, I never took another route. See, I was never pathfinding unless it was the four-wheel driving Highlands. I'm riding, never on the outside looking in. I bleed my pen and hope the paper absorb this. G3 record this, hot track, get that. They saying I'm a legend with no album on the racks, trying to increase my stacks. I'm shining like a diamond, never spend my days trying to rewind the time. It is what it is, but the real question is, can you accept this? Been giving you the best since I stepped in the booth. From them doors on the coupe, on a mission, getting looked back when them boys tried to school. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. This rap game is merely my obsession, not to mention it's what I'm the best in. Besides the corner loop, now tell me what's a better route. I got glue on my shoes, but I still move and make it happen. High strung like Action Jackson or Gregory Hines when he tapping. I'm laughing, but not from happiness. It's only what the game has cost me to get this far, and it's still gon' cost me nothing to a boss. See, everybody say it, but me, I gotta pay it, cause I'm knowing I'ma make it. You can't take that drive from me, nope. You can't hurt my pride. I see the world for what it is, for people who they are. Now I'm staring at my empty glass, thinking real hard. Cuban cigar, stay burning, heads turning when they ask who you are. Just say another brother breathing. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. I turn trash to treasure and umbrella weather to sunny days that you fit it can't shade. I'm on my way just like my grandmother told me. I can be anything I wanna be. I know you look down and smile on me. See, if in days I couldn't smile for me, being my life was so bumpy, then something touched me anonymously. And now I'm seeing things I really never seen. Chef Lee's party at 10, open the door and come on in. Champagne toasting, then we follow up with hitting the plush life begin. With my dreams to make a meal, a dual cassette deck and quick screw instrumentals. It's that simple, but what was so difficult? Passing all fast cash for cutting coke, trying to miss from getting caught up in the ropes. Watching time go by and everybody lie, trying to get a slice of the pie. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash. Time goes by, life so fast, got me changing lanes to avoid that crash.
What's up, everyone? This is Wild Oscah, and this is the Stream Current Show. I should say, I am the host, Wild Oscah, and this is, or you are listening to the Stream Current Show, and that was a song by California artist from Santa Cruz, Spendoe, produced by DJ Ultimatum, and the song is called Changing Lanes. Check it out on Spotify. Yeah, that's pretty cool song. It's got lots of different sounds in it, like instruments and all kinds of stuff. And there's a nice little beat break at the end in case anybody's up for doing a little freestyle. You can find Spendoe on social media. He's all over the place. He's got a link tree, so if you're looking to find all his links to like his song whip and different things like his social medias, his song links, which is the Song Whip. I'm just new to Song Whip, actually. I haven't got one set up, but I plan on. All his links, I should say. You can find them on his link tree. It's Spendoe, so Spendoe, like Spendoe, with an E at the end. He's on Facebook at official Spendoe, Instagram at Spendoe Music, on Twitter at Spendoe Music. He's on Tumblr, Spendoe Music, and he's on YouTube, official Spendoe. Check out those links. Those are the links that I have. So yeah, Spendoe has been featured on the podcast before. The last podcast was California G-ish. California G-ish. Man, I love that song. And we hope to have him back on the show again because it's a real royal treat to have that West Coast flavor on the podcast, because I am from the East Coast. Not just the East Coast of America, but the East Coast of Canada, where we have a little Gaelic dialect. So it's definitely got a little bit different sound, that's for sure. So, yeah, that was Spendoe. Check him out on social media. Give him a like. Give him a follow. Check out his song on Spotify. And as well, if you're trying to figure out where to find all these artists, go to our website at streamcurrents.com/podcast. And we got a link to our playlist on Spotify with all the artists and their songs featured on the show. It's called The Stream Current Show. You'll find it there. Add that playlist to your library. Give it a listen. Put it on repeat. Let's show these people some motherfucking love. Okay. A cat made it in. Damn it. I can't really lock the door. It's the lock's all busted on it, so it's like it's easy to open the door and the cats make their way in. They come in here, they want to be on the podcast, and meow, show me on the podcast. I want some kibbles. Everybody donate some kibbles to catmeow.com. No, they don't really say that. Okay, so far we've had 2 artists, well actually 3 if you include the collaboration with DSB and Shar. Next we are going to play my new single. So in case you don't know, I am a recording artist. I also own the record label Stream Currents Productions, which is a legitimate certified record label. We pay taxes and we have to report to the government and blah, blah, blah. But we are a record label, and I am a recording artist, and I do hip-hop. It's not really the usual hip-hop that people are used to listening to. I had a lot of ups and downs in my life, more downs than ups, and I try to stay positive with my music for the most part. I try not to rap about like guns and drugs and gangs and stuff like that, because it's not really part of my life. Not that I've never done drugs before or seen a gun, but it's not really who I am. So my music's slightly different. It's not everybody's cup of tea. Then again, not everybody likes tea either. So some people like to drink mouthwash when they first wake up in the morning. At least I used to. But I don't anymore. Haven't had a drink in over 7.5 years. I'm doing well. But, so yeah, I make music and I record, produce, I do everything for myself. At this point in the game, I'm doing everything for myself. So if you hear the beat, you hear the sounds, it's all produced by me. I released this single about 4 days ago or so, and I made a music video for it. So if you get a chance, go on YouTube. The song is called Night for Everyone by Wild Oscah, and that's with an H at the end of Oscah. Go on YouTube, check it out. It's a dance video. I'm trying to attempt my dance moves, and it's a green screen video. So I had a little fun, doing some effects and stuff with it. I was going to try and get some actual dancers. I was going to pay some people to actually dance in my video. But time constraints and trying to book the media studio over at the Halifax Library, they got a green screen room and a media studio. It wasn't possible. So I got some image graphics that kind of make it seem dancey. So it is a dance song. So yeah, I released a music video about 4 days ago. Put a little bit of Facebook advertising behind it just to boost the views a bit. And I got a lot of feedback, some good, some not so good. One guy said that this is a complete pile of dog shit. And I was like, wow, that's not so nice to read. But I take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, not everybody's going to like your music. More important is the fans who actually do follow you, opposed to everybody who disses you. I mean, there's artists like Eminem who's sold over 100 million records and he's sitting on a gold mine and is one of the best rappers of all time, at least back in the day he was. He probably still is. And people diss him. People say, Eminem's shit. It's like, how can Eminem be shit? That's like saying Wayne Gretzky's a shit player just because you don't like him. Or maybe he donated to a cause you don't approve of or something, right? So you're always going to have your haters. And in hip-hop, I do hip-hop, by the way. In hip-hop, it seems like the hate is fucking huge. Like, you don't get that kind of hate in country music or EDM or even in, like, hard rock. You mean you might get a little bit of hate, but people don't hate on people as much as people do in the hip-hop industry. It seems like it comes with the territory. If you're going to do hip-hop, you got to have a tough skin because people are going to tell you your shit sounds like shit, even though it might not be shit. And if it is shit, who cares? You're making music, you like making music, do it anyways. Who cares what people think? If nobody listens and you just get out that creative outflow, I mean, that's all that really matters, right? It's about, invigorating your soul, right? I mean, the fans are important too. But, I mean, if you're not doing music for yourself, who are you doing it for? Are you just trying to gain attention from people? I mean, if you're going to do music, like, do it because you have it in your blood and it's in you to give. And do it for yourself, first and foremost, and then do it for your fans. And your fans will really appreciate it if you have a don't give a fuck attitude because they're more likely to listen to your stuff. And you never know what people are going to like, right? Just because somebody thinks it's shit, somebody might think it's really friggin' awesome. They might cheer them up on a really bad day where they think about doing something stupid and they listen to your song and say, oh my God, I feel so much better now. And you might change somebody's life. That does happen in the industry. Songs can change emotions in people and make people feel different. And you have a lot of power with your voice and with the words that you project. So be wise about it, Be mindful that you are a voice to somebody out there, good or bad. You may be the last song somebody hears or the first song somebody wakes up to in the morning, and you might be what causes somebody to have a good day or a bad day. Or maybe just, help them party their dance socks off or whatever, right? So you're just going to have a little drink of pop here. Really sucks. I have esophagus ulcers I was diagnosed with a few years ago from my previous drinking days. And I can't get off the Diet Coke. I absolutely love Diet Coke. It's unbelievable how much Diet Coke I drink. So there is no sugar in Diet Coke, but every now and then I put a little bit of sugar in my coffee, and it's not good. I drink coffee and Diet Coke, so I've got like a cornucopia of fucking caffeine inside me. But it keeps me going, most importantly. So the next song we are playing, let me just scroll here in case you hear me clicking, is my new release. It's called Night for Everyone. It's a dance party track. It's about getting your dance shoes on and having a good time and letting the weekend ride. And I hope you guys like it. If you don't, that's okay too. You can fast forward, But I recommend you checking it out and kind of see what I tried to do with this song. I tried to go with a certain kind of like rhyme scheme, and I did a little bit of singing too. I'm not the greatest singer, but you know, I gave it a go. And it is my fastest track to date. The other two singles that I've released so far this year were, one was about motivation of mental health, and one was about broken family relationships. So this one is like my fun song. So if I was to show somebody a song at a party or something, this would be the song I would play and hope that it gets the people going. So with no further ado, or idu, I'm not really sure how you say that, but with no further ado, here is Wild Oscah with an H with Night for Everyone. We'll be right back.
The Stream Currents Show, brought to you by Stream Currents Productions.
Yeah, let's get it, get your spinach, time to rip it, drip these beats from the beaker, tweaking shipments from the speakers till the freaking beacon. Yeah, let's flip it like some fishes, time to tip it, ship the heat up to the fever, people need to feel the heat like spicy Caesars. Yeah, let's dip it, drop and hit it, pop the lid, let's twist it, chopping these beats like a cleaver, deep in the scene, let's get a little leaner, never mind your demeanor. Yeah, let's whip it, don't diminish, it ain't finished, clean your meter, fill your leader, get out your seat, lose the shield and move those sneakers.
We all up in here tonight, so don't make us have to start a fight, 'cause we just want to have some fun. It's the night for everyone.
Yeah, let's rock it, don't fucking stop it, hop with the leader, chop that chiba, show your meanness, go full demon, seize your dreams like Ebenezer. Yeah, let's crop it, clap and clop it, clocks are unforeseen, redeeming the beats from the receiver, supreme beings breed some speed just like a cheetah. Yeah, let's shock it, till it's lopping, never stopping, till it's lethal, be a believer in the procedure, let your creature become your feature. Yeah, we got it, it's the hottest, not the freezer, we the fiends that party till the weekend spills in the deep end, it's steaming up and we ain't sleeping.
We all up in here tonight, so don't make us have to start a fight, 'cause we just want to have some fun. It's the night for everyone. We all up in here tonight, so don't make us have to start a fight, 'cause we just want to have some fun. It's the night for everyone.
What's up, everybody? We're back. This is your host, Wild Oscah, and you're listening to the Stream Currents Show podcast, radio style format, found on YouTube. Also, you can go to our website at streamcurrents.com/podcast, and we also post our episodes up on there in case you want to avoid the whole YouTube situation. But we encourage you to subscribe to us at Stream Currents on YouTube, so we can get those plays, so we can make that money, so we can have a good time someday. Riding on a yacht, riding on a Lamborghini, saying fuck what they say, I just want some linguine. Okay, I just made that up. So, if you're just tuning in, the last song that was just playing was a song by myself, Wild Oscah with an H, and the song was called Night for Everyone. There's a music video on YouTube. Check it out, or you can go to our Facebook page at Wild Oscah with an H, and the video is posted up on there, but it's on YouTube. It's called Night for Everyone. And if you're wondering where to find me on social media besides Stream Currents, which we've already talked about earlier in the show, it's at Stream Currents for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and YouTube. And for myself, for my artist page, it's Wild Oscah at Instagram, at Wild Oscah on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And I got a link tree to check it out, Wild Oscah. So that's where you can find me. It's been a great show. Got to talk about a few things. We shoot at the shit about wildfires for a bit. We played some songs. We had Shar featuring DSB. We had Spendoe. We had a song by myself. We're going to end the show with an outro playlist. But before we do that, I just want to thank all the artists and musicians who submitted their music to be featured on the podcast. It means the world to me. We're just small peas right now. Not you guys, but this podcast is just small peas right now. But you never know when it's going to turn into a big steak. Big old hunkin' steak, medium rare, with barbecue sauce, and everybody's going to love the crap out of it. So that day is coming. We don't know when, but it is coming. Let us guarantee you that. And if this ever goes to radio, which I hope it does someday, I'll be reaching out to every artist who's submitted songs to be on this show to be the first people in line to have their songs played on the radio. Not sure if I'm going to be able to make that happen, but if it does happen, make sure that you guys get played first, because you guys are the foundation to this podcast. Because without your guys' songs, it's just me playing my songs all day. Not everybody wants to listen to just my music, right? And it's been a royal treat to have the different sounds and flavors like we had on this episode. We've had somebody from Ontario, Canada, somebody from California. In previous episodes, we had people from England, Arizona. The list goes on and on. So, yeah, like I said, it's awesome to be able to do this podcast. It helps me reach out to different artists and musicians and build those connections, which I may not have had I not started this podcast. So it means a lot to me. I want to thank you guys again for being on here. And I want to thank all the viewers, to anybody who's listening right now, for checking us out. We appreciate it. Make sure to go on social media, follow those links to the different artists, and check them out on Spotify. If you're wondering where to find the songs, like we said before earlier in the podcast, go to streamcurrents.com/podcast, and we have a link to our playlist on Spotify, which features all the artists who have been on the show, and it's called The Stream Currents Show, and you'll be able to find them very quickly there. It has been a slice, maybe two slices, and we got the outro playlist coming up here. First, we have Zach BP. He's actually the guy I was talking about from England. More to Life. And after that, we're going to be playing some Preston Lewis. Hold on a second. I got to mark something down here. Get my little cheat sheet. I'm messing up here. Okay. Zach BP, More to Life, first up. Then we're going to have Preston Lewis from the Distorted Waves with Just Another Day. And then we're going to end off the show with Phil Marinucci with his song Fly, which has been hitting all kinds of different radio stations. And if you're unsure about these guys and everything they're about, go back to the previous episodes, check out what we got to say about them, and yeah, or check them out on social media. I think Preston Lewis, the Distorted Waves, can be found on Facebook. Phil Marinucci can definitely be found on Facebook. He's Phil Marinucci Multimedia. And Zach BP, I think he's on Facebook. He's definitely on Instagram, so check him out. Zach BP, that's Zach with a K, BP. And he's actually a model, and he's been featured on the BBC Highland show, or I forget what it's called, some kind of show, the Midland show, sorry. And he's got some great recognition by being featured on the BBC. The BBC is kind of like the CBC of Canada. And if you're not from Canada, you probably be like, what? The CBC? It's like, it is. It's the big top dog when it comes to radio. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good one, and stay fresh. Remember to always check your lint trap in your dryer, because it's important. You don't want to start a fire. So that's my little advice for the show. And like I said, we'll have a good one. You guys have a good one. And we'll hear or see you next time. And that's it for today. Hope you guys have a good one. I already said that like 10 times. Have a good one. And we'll have one too. Peace out. Peace and prosper. Oh shit, I almost forgot to give people shout outs. Before we go any further and end this podcast, I want to give a shout out to everybody who liked the Facebook post that I put up earlier. So we got Mike Penton, we got Sean Curry from Still Flow Records, and we got my buddy Brian Bonet, better known as B-Man, One Hit KO. Be on the lookout for him because he's got some stuff in the works. You never know when it's coming out, but when it does, I'm sure you guys are going to like it. That's it for the show. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good one, and we'll have one too.
There's nothing better than great music right here on the Stream Current Show.
Make it rain,
I feel like I'm stuck in a loop. There's gotta be more to life. So many things I want to. Look, I feel like I'm stuck in a loop. There's gotta be more to life. So many things I want to do. Before it's my time to die. When it's my time to shine, all eyes on I gotta make them notice. Go through hard times, I'm leaving proof. Can't lose track or focus. Always thinking the worst. I find it hard to tell my brain. When you're in dark times, it's hard to ever feel the same. Fuck the lies, the stories of pain. No one cares at the end of the day. So pick yourself up, got to man up, and deal with pain. Never selling my soul if it's not meant to be, then I've just got to accept it. When I was younger I got upset, but nowadays I don't care about rejection. If they're talking on me, they're fans. I'm just happy that I got them mentioned. If you don't like me, I don't care. I don't want your vote like an election. I've done things that are out of character, but I won't let it define me. I remember life on my pedal bike, black tracksuit and Air Max 90s. Now if there's no designer on me, I'ma step in out, not lightly. Falling into the trap, that's the problem with society. I feel like I'm stuck in a loop. There's gotta be more to life. So many things I want to do. Before it's my time to die. When it's my time to shine, all eyes on I gotta make them notice. Go through hard times, I'm leaving proof. Can't lose track or focus. I feel like I'm stuck in a loop. There's gotta be more to life. So many things I want to do. Before it's my time to die. When it's my time to shine, all eyes on I gotta make them notice. Go through hard times, I'm leaving proof. Can't lose track or focus. Making my family proud is on my mind. I can't be a failure. When I left school I thought I was gonna make it. It was all in my head, but times got scary. I've always had big dreams, gotta succeed, make it out of my area. Wanting big whips, all black, with a cream interior. Life is a blast, good and bad, it's just where you make it. When Miller said that I knew it was facts, so I had to embrace it. More than half these people are fake, and they are constantly changing. I'm a social guy, but I'd rather stay inside than deal with fake shit. I've done things that are out of character, but I won't let it define me. I remember life on my pedal bike, black tracksuit and Air Max 90s. Now if there's no designer on me, I'ma step in out, not lightly. Falling into the trap, that's the problem with society. I feel like I'm stuck in a loop. There's gotta be more to life. So many things I want to do. Before it's my time to die. When it's my time to shine, all eyes on I gotta make them notice. Go through hard times, I'm leaving proof. Can't lose track or focus. I feel like I'm stuck in a loop. There's gotta be more to life. So many things I want to do. Before it's my time to die. When it's my time to shine, all eyes on I gotta make them notice. Go through hard times, I'm leaving proof. Can't lose track or focus.
Make it rain, Buzzy. Why not make this, baby?
You're listening to the Stream Current Show.
The shelf, fuck, I do it for myself. The other night is they can do it for the weak mind. Just do it for the right cause, cause I don't need no applause. Just another day in the life, another round on the house. Just another
Dream Curtain Show, we play the best hits worldwide.